Now, if you've driven through the streets and on the highways of Dubai in the last few years, the name DAMAC would not be unknown to you. Blazoned across some of Dubai's high-profile projects, the company has grown to become one of the foremost luxury developers and is showing no signs of slowing down anytime soon. We sat down with the managing director, Ziad Al-Char, to find out what is behind DAMAC's current success. Over the past decade, one of the sectors of the economy that has garnered global investor interest has been the multiple ambitious property projects that Dubai in particular and now Abu Dhabi is known for. But with the volatility that we have seen both in 2008 and with oil prices this year, is the market still an attractive proposition to investors?
I think maybe only in this market we still talk about 2008. 2008 happened just like any of the cycles in the world happen every maybe 20, 30, 40, 50 years. We don't talk about 1928 or 2000. It happened. That was a business cycle. It affected the whole globe. And the most important part is to see the learnings in this market, because this market is still a new market from a real estate perspective. It started in 2002. We've been in this market for 14 years. DAMAC has been here for 13 years. We started directly after the establishment of the law. And in 2008, we had in place some of the most protective laws, not only for investors, but also for the sanity of the market. Laws that require a lot of equity to start off projects, which means you will reduce speculation. Laws that require depositing all the funds in escrow accounts, which is a big protection for investors, knowing that most of these investors are international investors. So I think we should just stop talking about 2008 and just focus on the attractiveness of the market and how we can keep this market stable and growing. If you look at a market like Dubai, which is a very unique market, not only in the Middle East or in Asia, but globally, you have more than 200 nationalities buying in this market. We alone in DAMAC, we have 74 nationalities investing with us. And these nationalities are spread out through many countries. And some of those countries are at a disadvantage because of the oil price, but some of them are at a very big advantage because of lower oil prices, because they are not producing nations, they are importing nations, which will eventually balance out if you have a diversified market in terms of buyers. And this is what makes this market attractive and stable, and definitely a market for the long term.
Now, in the past, we saw a number of large developers run into issues as a result of the volatility of the global markets. But DAMAC has emerged as one of the most trusted developers in the region, with its multiple projects being very well received by investors. How has it been able to achieve this status and to sustain this trust within the market?
Yeah, our focus has always been the investor, the customer, the prospect. We don't sell what we develop. We try to develop what the investor is looking for. And we try to meet what is in the head of that investor, maybe before many of our competitors, and this has proved for us a big competitive advantage on the market. Coupled with that, we are also very well known for our distribution efforts. Dubai, just like I told you before, is an international market. It's a global market. And we as developers, we have a duty towards this market to go outside Dubai and spread out the message of Dubai. Just this year alone, in 2016, by now we've done more than 100 roadshows in approximately 45 cities. Everywhere we go, we spread the message of Dubai and we convince them to buy Dubai, and then we convince them to buy from DAMAC. And wherever we go, it is rare where people, when you tell them the full message of Dubai, that they're not convinced. From the economic perspective, from the financial perspective, from the investment growth perspective, from the liquidity perspective, from the protection perspective, from the security of the city, from the infrastructure of the emirate.
2016 has seen DAMAC Properties launch a string of projects in both its residential and hospitality divisions. It was in September that the company said it had launched more than 10 projects with a total value exceeding 13 billion dirhams. Again, in the face of low oil prices, reduced economic sentiment and sliding property values, that's according to some consultancy firms, why has the company chosen to launch this volume of projects now?
Our launches are a reflection that we believe that the real estate market in Dubai is one of the best asset classes globally because of the many factors driving that market. The biggest driver usually for the real estate market is investment in infrastructure. And you have a government here that is continuously investing in infrastructure, which is always a propellant for real estate investment. Second thing, you have a government also that is working very hard to bring in more and more people to Dubai, whether to set up a business, whether to come as a tourist, which is always a very big propellant for real estate. At the same time, you have a destination, a geographical location, which is very attractive for second home buyers. And if you look at most of the cities around Dubai, Dubai is still an aspirational city from an infrastructure perspective, from a living conditions perspective. And with having one of the most connected airports in Dubai, bringing those people to their second homes and taking them back to their home cities is also a very big propellant for real estate. So when you combine all the positive factors, they definitely outweigh whatever negative factors we're thinking of.
Welcome back. Now, DAMAC prides itself on delivering luxury real estate developments. But what are investors and the market generally looking for in this particular segment? And what are the features of these luxury properties that make it successful?
We play a lot on luxury being exclusive. Because if you have exclusivity, then it means you don't have a very high supply on the market. It means in that market, you have a competitive edge and you have a lot of barriers to entry. This is why a very big portion of our portfolio is split into two categories. One category, which is the Gulf communities, which is always are synonymous with luxury and upmarket living, being a part of a golf course community. And we have studies that proved that the returns in a golf community are always higher than the returns outside in a Gulf community, notably our Gulf communities of Akoya and Akoya Oxygen. And the second part of our portfolio is what we call managed real estate, which are the hotel apartments and the hotel rooms. For one simple reason, more than 70% of the investors in DAMAC, and many of them in Dubai, are non-residents. So they live in Beijing, they live in Shanghai, they live in Jeddah, they live in Mumbai. They want to buy a product which is a full package. It's a good investment, but at the same time, they have a reputable firm to manage their investment. So they just invest, sign the agreement, and they know they're gonna get the returns every quarter or every year. So when we built these two categories, which are very exclusive, then they gave us a lot of edge on the market, and they gave our investors also a lot of edge on the market by having two exclusive categories with a lot of barriers to entry for many other developers. What we've added to this exclusivity also is the limited editions, because also part of an exclusive product, from time to time you release a limited edition. And the limited edition has been the co-branding projects. The co-branding projects with Bugatti, with Versace, with Fendi. These always present the limited edition in every category.
One of the latest projects to be unveiled this year is the Akoya Quattro Villas, built with millennials and families in mind. So why has DAMAC started to focus on this market segment? And since its launch, how has the project been received?
Well, the reception was tremendous. We had a big demand for these units. And these units were done in a way having in mind that many of the people these days, they don't spend a lot of time at home, so they don't need big sizes. And at the same time, they want their home to stand a little bit, to be colorful, to be close to nature, to have a garden, to sit outside. They're not looking, for example, for a swimming pool. They're looking for a swing outside more than a swimming pool, because for them, swimming pool consumes a lot of energy. So we built a product for that type of customer, and it was very well received.
Now, finally, the country is gearing up for Expo 2020, but what other factors are at play currently that, in your opinion, will boost business confidence and continue to bring investors to the market?
Like we've always said, that Expo 2020 is a nice addition to what we have. It's like if you have a very tasty cake and then you have the cherry on the cake. And Expo 2020 is not a cherry on the cake, because Dubai was very successful before Expo 2020 and will remain very successful after Expo 2020. But Expo 2020 is exposing Dubai to more global cities and putting Dubai at the level of cities that hosted Expo 2020 before, like Beijing and Shanghai. And at the same time, coupled with the fact that you have the connectivity, you have the free investment arena, you have the free flowing of capital, you have the currency pegged to the US dollar, you have the continuous investment of infrastructure, you have security, you have safety. All of this always add to the attraction of a market. And Expo 2020 is just a cherry on the cake of all of these attractors.
Well, that brings us to the end of our program. If you'd like to know more about any of the stories you have seen tonight, you can contact us at UAE Weekly at city7tv.com or by calling us on 04367 2230. From myself and the entire team, have a great week ahead.